Ladies and gentlemen, stop announcing your dreams. Start building them. The world is full of noise, opinions, and distractions, but winners move in silence. When you stop talking about what you will do and start doing it, your life changes. Silence sharpens your focus. It protects your energy. It protects your energy. It keeps you locked in on what truly matters. Most people talk about their dreams. They announce their plans, they post their goals, they tell the world what they're going to do. But champions, winners, they move differently. They understand a simple formula that changes everything. Silence, work, win. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. Silence is where clarity is born. When you stop announcing your intentions to the world, you stop leaking your energy. You stop looking for validation. You stop depending on applause before the performance. In silence, you begin to hear yourself. You begin to understand what you truly want, not what the world expects from you. And when you are silent, something incredible happens. You become dangerous. Because now, your focus is not on proving something to people. Your focus is on becoming something for yourself. Then comes the work. Not the glamorous work, not the work that gets likes, not the work that gets attention. The real work, the early mornings, the late nights, the repetitions, the failures nobody sees, the effort when you are tired, when you are doubting, when you are tempted to quit. This is where winners are created. You see, success is not built in public. It is built in private. It is built in moments where nobody is clapping for you, when nobody believes in you. When nobody is watching, that's where your character is shaped. That's where your discipline is forged. While others are talking, you are working. While others are complaining, you are improving. While others are distracted, you are locked in. And then you win. Silence is where true power begins. In a world addicted to noise, constant updates, and public declarations, choosing silence sets you apart. When you stop telling everyone what you plan to do, you stop leaking the very energy you need to accomplish it. Every time you announce a goal, you receive a small dose of satisfaction from other people's reactions, and that false sense of achievement weakens your drive. Silence protects your ambition. It keeps your hunger alive. In silence, you are not distracted by opinions, praise, or criticism. You are free to focus entirely on your mission. You begin to hear your own thoughts clearly instead of the endless chatter of the outside world. You understand what truly matters to you, not what impresses others. Silence removes the pressure to perform for an audience and replaces it with the determination to perform for yourself. Silent focus builds discipline. When nobody knows what you are working on, you are forced to rely on your own commitment rather than external validation. You show up every day not because someone is watching, but because you made a promise to yourself. This creates a powerful internal standard that is far stronger than any external expectation. You become self-driven, self-motivated, and self-reliant. Silence all makes you mentally stronger. You learn to handle doubts, setbacks, and struggles without seeking sympathy or attention. You solve problems quietly. You improve quietly. You grow quietly. This process builds resilience because you are no longer dependent on encouragement from others to keep moving forward. When you work in silence, your focus becomes sharper and your progress becomes deeper. You waste less time explaining and more time executing. You stop trying to impress and start trying to improve. Your energy goes into action instead of conversation. And something powerful happens when you move this way. People underestimate you. They don't see your preparation. They don't see your growth. They don't see the hours of effort you are putting in. That becomes your advantage. Because when the moment comes when the results appear, they seem sudden to the world, but are the product of long, silent dedication. Silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. It is concentration. It is controlled energy directed toward a clear purpose. It is the space where focus turns into discipline, discipline turns into progress, and progress turns into success. The world is loud with opinions, advice, criticism, trends, and distractions pulling you in every direction. If you try to listen to all of it, you lose yourself. You start adjusting your path to satisfy others, chasing approval instead of progress. Ignoring the noise is not about arrogance. It is about protecting your focus. It is about understanding that not every voice deserves your attention and not every opinion deserves your energy. And when you decide to block out the noise, you regain control of your direction. You stop reacting to what people say and start responding to what truly matters. You no longer feel the need to explain your choices or defend your journey. Your time and mental energy are too valuable to be wasted on debates that do not move you forward. Distractions are the silent killers of ambition. Social media, constant notifications, unnecessary conversations, and the urge to compare yourself with others can slowly drain your motivation. You begin to measure your progress against someone else's highlight reel instead of your own growth. Ignoring this noise allows you to stay grounded in your own path, your own pace, and your own purpose. Criticism can also be a form of noise. Some people will doubt you, question you, and underestimate you. If you give their words too much attention, you start doubting yourself. But when you learn to ignore these voices, you realize that most criticism comes from people who are not even attempting what you are trying to do. Their opinions are reflections of their limitation, not yours. Even praise can be distracting. Compliments and recognition can make you comfortable too early. They can trick you into feeling accomplished before you have truly achieved your goal. Ignoring praise keeps you hungry. It keeps you striving for real results rather than temporary validation. When you silence the noise around you, your mind becomes clearer. You think better. You plan better. You execute better. You develop a deep sense of focus that allows you to move with intention instead of reaction. You begin to live by your own standards rather than the expectations of others. This ability to ignore distractions and opinions is a powerful skill. It allows you to stay locked in on your mission while the world moves chaotically around you. You become calm in the middle of chaos, steady in the middle of uncertainty, and focused in the middle of distraction. Most people seek recognition before they have created results. They want to be seen, praised, and acknowledged while they are still at the beginning of their journey. But real progress is built the opposite way. You build the results first, and let recognition come later as a natural consequence. When you focus on substance instead of attention, you create something real, something undeniable. Building results before seeking recognition forces you to concentrate on the process rather than the applause. You are no longer performing for an audience. You are performing for excellence. This mindset changes how you work. You care more about quality than visibility. You care more about growth than popularity. Your priority becomes mastering your craft instead of marketing yourself. When you chase recognition too early, you divide your energy. Part of your focus goes into showing people what you are doing instead of actually doing it. You start worrying about how things look rather than how well they are built. But when recognition is not your goal, you free yourself from this distraction. Your entire energy goes into creating, improving, and refining. This approach also builds patience. You understand that meaningful success takes time. You're willing to put in hours, days, and months of effort without immediate reward. You trust the process. You believe that if you continue to work with dedication, the results will eventually speak for themselves. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are improving every day without needing others to notice. You do not feel the urge to announce your progress because you are secure in the work you are doing. This confidence is powerful because it is built on reality, not words. When the results finally appear, they carry weight. They are not claims or promises, they are proof. People do not need to be convinced because the evidence is visible. Your work becomes your introduction. Your achievements become your voice. This way of working also protects you from disappointment. If you seek recognition first and do not receive it, you may feel discouraged. But when your focus is only on results, you remain motivated regardless of who is watching. Your drive comes from progress, not praise. By building results before seeking recognition, you develop discipline, patience, and true skill. You create something solid and lasting. And when recognition does arrive, it is earned, meaningful, and impossible to ignore. Pain, doubt, and criticism are experiences everyone faces, but very few people know how to use them as fuel. Most people try to avoid discomfort. They run from criticism, fear doubt, and see pain as a signal to stop. But those who win learn to transform these challenges into energy that drives them forward. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, they see them as opportunities to grow stronger. Pain as a way of revealing your limits. It shows you where you feel weak, where you feel insecure, and where you feel afraid. If you choose to face that pain instead of escaping it, you begin to understand yourself at a deeper level. You discover what needs to be improved, what needs to be strengthened, and what needs to be overcome. Pain becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. Doubt is another powerful force. It whispers that you are not good enough, not ready, or not capable. If you listen to it without question, it can stop you from even trying. But when you challenge doubt, it becomes motivation, trituration. You work harder to prove to yourself that you can do more than your fears suggest. You turn doubt into determination. Criticism can either break your confidence or sharpen your focus. Some criticism is useless noise, but some of it contains valuable lessons. When you learn to separate emotion from feedback, you can use criticism to improve. Instead of feeling attacked, you feel informed. You take what is helpful, discard what is not, and continue moving forward with greater awareness. Using pain, doubt, and criticism as fuel requires mental strength. It requires you to control your emotions and choose your response carefully. Instead of reacting with frustration or discouragement, you respond with action. You channel that emotional energy into your work, your improvement, and your progress. This process builds resilience. Every time you turn a negative experience into motivation, you become harder to stop. You become less affected by setbacks because you know how to use them to your advantage. You stop seeing challenges as threats and start seeing them as tools. Over time, this mindset creates unstoppable momentum. So, the very things that were meant to discourage you become the reasons you push harder. Pain strengthens you. Doubt sharpens you. Criticism improves you. What once felt like obstacles now become the fuel that drives you towards success. Consistency when nobody is watching is the true test of character. It is easy to perform when there is attention, praise, or accountability from others. It is easy to work hard when someone is monitoring your progress or expecting results. But real discipline is revealed in the quiet moments when you are alone, when there is no audience, no applause, and no external pressure pushing you forward. These are the moments that define who you really are. When you choose to show up and do the work without recognition, you build a powerful internal standard. You begin to act not because you feel motivated, but because you have decided that this is who you are. Your actions are no longer dependent on how you feel or who is watching. They are driven by commitment. Working in private builds integrity. You keep promises to yourself even when breaking them would be easy. You follow through on your plans even when no one would know if you stopped. This creates trust within yourself. You start believing in your own discipline because you see it in action every day. When nobody is watching, distractions are stronger and excuses are louder. You can easily delay, procrastinate, or quit without consequences. But choosing to stay consistent in these moments strengthens your willpower, and excuses are low. Each time you resist the temptation to stop, you become mentally tougher. Each small act of discipline adds up and forms a habit of reliability. This private consistency also builds skill at a deeper level. Repetition without interruption allows you to improve steadily. You are not rushing to impress anyone. You are not trying to perform perfectly for an audience. You are simply focused on getting better, step by step, day by day. Over time, this quiet repetition creates visible results. What seem like small efforts begin to produce significant progress. Others may think your success happened suddenly, but they did not see the countless hours you invested when no one was watching. Consistency in private moments turns effort into habit and habit into excellence. It creates a foundation that cannot be shaken because it is built on discipline rather than motivation. You learn to rely on yourself, to push yourself, and to continue moving forward regardless of circumstances. This is where true strength is developed and lasting success is formed. Letting your success speak louder than words is one of the most powerful strategies you can adopt in life. Too often, people feel the need to explain themselves, justify their efforts, or announce their intentions before results exist. They believe that talking about what they are doing will earn them respect or validation. But in reality, words without action are empty. True influence comes from the evidence of your achievements, not the promises you make. When you focus on letting your results speak, you stop wasting energy on persuading others and start directing that energy into producing measurable outcomes. Every action you take, every challenge you overcome, and every milestone you achieve becomes a statement far louder than any argument or explanation could ever be. People respect results because they cannot be ignored, misinterpreted, or taken away. Words may be forgotten, opinions may shift, but the tangible proof of what you have accomplished remains undeniable. Success that speaks for itself also builds credibility. When you consistently deliver results, people naturally take notice. Your work becomes your reputation. You no longer need to convince anyone of your capabilities because they are evident. This approach not only earns respect, but also positions you as a leader, someone whose actions define their value rather than their self-promotion. Additionally, letting your results do the talking protects your focus. When you are preoccupied with announcing your progress or seeking approval, you dilute your energy and slow your growth. By staying silent and committing to your goals, you concentrate entirely on creating, learning, and improving. You cultivate a mindset of action over words, which is essential for long-term success. There is also a psychological advantage. When you achieve quietly and let success reveal itself, it creates an element of surprise. People underestimate you, doubt you, or ignore your efforts, but when your results appear, the impact is powerful and